Somebody's muted me as well. So we've all been muted. Now I'm going to change this. The recording's already been started. Man, it's good to have co-hosts that take care of things for you. I'm just telling you, when Anthony's on top of things, that's for sure. Thank you, Anthony, or Susan, whoever's doing that. So I assume you can hear me okay, Todd, because I want to make sure I'm not muted. You can nod your head.
Yes, loud and clear.
Good deal. As we get started this morning, guys, you know we do these every Saturday morning. We try to keep the topics changing, and we've done a lot of product and things over the last few weeks. We've done a whole lot about transformations, and we've done a lot about the company's growth. But today, I think many of us, at least for me, I started with this company for this part. I'll be perfectly honest. I had no idea how great the products were going to be and how many lives we would change and how much different I would feel. Can't believe actually that I'm drinking green juice for breakfast. I learned a whole lot about my life and how much I've changed. But I honestly joined this company because of the financial side. I'm in the compensation plan and the way it's designed, the ownership and all those type things. So we've been having a lot of questions about the compensation plan. So when Todd and I were discussing this week about what we're going to talk about, I think the money topic came up, that people were asking about the comp plan. Some people try to think that our comp plan is complicated. I don't think it's that complicated. I think it's just that it's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes we try to merge them all together. So hopefully today when we finish, you'll understand how the money part works a little better. And if you don't, we'll do this again. And the more you hear it, the more you'll get there. So Todd, I'm going to turn it to you because this is your PowerPoint. So as you begin to talk money, this is your favorite topic.
Okay, Chris, flip ahead. I'll tell you, Chris is flipping the screen, so I'm going to let you go ahead and flip ahead, Chris. Brent Palmer and Chris Doyle and I, we're going to walk you through today the entirety of the pay plan, everything that is available. And that's what can complicate it a little bit, just because there's 8 different ways we get paid, plus free travel, plus discounted travel, plus loyalty shopping, plus other rewards. We're going to leave no stone unturned today. Chris will immediately upload this to YouTube. As a matter of fact, many of you are probably watching this on YouTube already. So hopefully this will kind of walk you through it. You can use this going forward. It'll be at researchmoa.com by this afternoon. It'll be, which is one of our main websites for people to do their research, and that way people can really understand it. But Brent Palmer, you came here from 9 years. You were a high school football coach. You just like you and I have parallel stories. We both loved our profession. We thought we would always do it. We loved the kids. We miss our profession, but we're coaching a different age group now, and we're coaching a different subject matter. Instead of football, we're coaching financial independence and health transformations. And one of the great things is all 3 of us have had the experience of 2 companies in the industry. And the greatest thing about Ariix is a couple of fold. One, is built for the long term. So I always tell people, it doesn't matter really what your compensation plays or how good you tell me it is. If it's not going to be here 10 years from now, then I don't have residual income 10 years from now, because a residual income is only as good as the company's ability to pay it for the next 100 years. Let my kids fight over it one day. But Brent, this is the #1 compensation plan in the world. There's no debate about it. Chris, if you'll go one slide forward. Brent, talk to us about, you've had experience. Talk to us about how you're starting to see, now that you're part of Ariix, the pay plan role for you.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. And thanks for having me on, you and Chris. And it has been a wow factor. When we converted over, obviously we were with the Limu company. And so when we converted over, we really felt like, and our compensation plan was good. It paid us well. And I was the first to see that as a high school football coach coming in this industry broke as a joke, $20,000 in credit card debt, started building a business, created a lot of income from this industry. And I'd heard from you, the #1 comp plan in the industry, it just pays more. And when we converted over, the proof was in the checks. Across the board, our organization has received a pay increase for the same amount of volume done. And that for me is just proof. It wasn't that I doubted it, but when you see it on paper and when you see it in the checks and the direct deposits, the proof's there.
Yeah, there's 8 different ways we get paid, plus some extra perks. And we're going to go through them all today. We have a number of patents. I think there's maybe 4 total on the compensation plan now. We've got a couple more patents now pending with some social media advertising for products and stuff we're going to be launching in the near future. So we're a very protected company. Auto balancing, which we'll hit on in a minute, and the power reentry are 2 of our patents there. Chris, go ahead and flip one more time. Now, as we start the pay plan, I just want everybody to understand is what makes the money flow is we sell products to an end consumer around the world. There are 9 divisions of products that we currently offer in North America and growing rapidly. I know of at least 4 or 5 more divisions that will be live, probably some of them already live by the time you're watching this video. In the next 4 or 5 months, they're already in the pipeline, already merged into the company, launching this September. We got a couple divisions in Dallas. So this list of products is always going to grow into time. They just made the announcement. The number 1 superfood doctor in the world, he's out of Japan. His company is merged in. We're already selling his products in Japan, but that superfood company will merge back into the North America as soon as they get all the legal stuff done there. So all the money you're about to see, guys, is the same money that transfers on an Amazon transaction. It transfers at the cashier at Walmart or at Target. So you and I are taking that income that's flowing in the world already, and we're moving it into our lives for gathering Ariix customers for these products. So go ahead and flip, Chris. Those products, as I was just mentioning, are sold around the world. And Chris, you're a business guy. You used to own a traditional company that you stonewashed jeans for Lee and Levi, which were sold around the world. You stonewashed them in Jackson, Tennessee, and people ended up wearing them one day in Europe and China. But, you know, this is pretty mind-boggling, Chris, that you can sit there at your computer at your house in a little town in Tennessee and have access to all these markets around the world.
Well, after being full-time in the industry, Todd, as you well know, for 19 years, I knew a global footprint was very important. A lot of people do not understand how big that can become. A perfect example would be I have never been to Australia, but I have in the neighborhood, I don't know, 700 plus representatives that have joined our team in Australia that I had no responsibility of handling. Someone else that used someone. So I don't even know these people personally. I've seen them on Zoom and things of that nature. But the fact is, you would never have had that. Now we have a girl even from Arkansas that's brought in her daughter-in-law that lives in China. So if you don't have a global footprint, you miss a lot of market. I think that's the way to understand it. And the good part about Ariix is, as you well know, Todd, when we started here 7.5 years ago, we thought they were big because they had 12 countries. And now what are we, 75 plus countries? I'm not sure the exact number, but it's growing so rapidly that it's just amazing the number of countries you can do business in. So it's important to understand that really stabilizes your business.
Yeah, and if you're new evaluating this, understand that your website you get when you become a distributor in the company does all this for us. So Brent, it's really as simple as when you go in to sign up a customer and or a distributor, you click on the country they're from, and that's the only thing you do different. And it takes care of it all. Brent, because of this international growth, we did 220 million last year. They're saying we're on pace for right at 600 million this year. But Brent, the owners have told you directly that they think we'll go through $1 billion next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Todd. Yeah, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I mean, when you think about it, Dr. Fred Cooper looked at us in Utah and said, you know, we're on pace. We believe we'll hit the $1 billion mark at the end of the year. And what blows my mind is he said we've got $1.5 billion worth of acquisitions, owners wanting to come into our house of brands. Does not mean that we will get or we will take all of them, but it just shows you where the world is today, wanting to be a part of Ariix. And so when I look at the trend of the next 2 to 3 years, it's just one of those things where we need to have, you know, it's visible proof that our boat is in the water and it's time to row. Time to row.
That's exactly right, Brent. Go ahead and flip us forward. There we go, Chris. So let's get to the getting started process. A person's looked at our overview. One thing that we do, and we share this with other individuals, is we've got this big macro company selling products all around the world in lots of divisions. But generally speaking, there's about 6-7 products that we talk about mostly on the front lines. We call them transformation packs or experience packs. It's really good to start with a pack when you start your journey in our company, because that gives you what we call the 2X membership. And you must get a pack that includes that 2X membership to get qualified for the 2X. And what the 2X means is you're going to get double discount or 30% for life, and you're going to get double pay for life. The pay plan I'm showing you today, or we're all showing you today, has the 2X included. If you don't do a pack with a 2X membership, meaning if you just went and randomly bought 200 volume points, you would have a qualified business to make money, but you would have to do 500 volume points of product ordering to get that same 2X membership that these packs come with. So it's a great way to start at a significant discount. And then, Brent, once they get a pack and start, whether they're starting with a basic transformation pack or an ultimate, which we're going to cover the reason for that in just a minute, the next piece of the puzzle is to qualify their business, they have to have a monthly auto ship or a customer. It does not have to be you. It can be an outside customer meeting the requirement of 100 volume points of product or $150 spent. Both work. For example, 2 boxes of MOA is $160 and like 88 volume points. Because it's $160, it meets your auto ship requirement. And then again, you might buy some Skincerity or one of our skincare products, and it may be $135 and 100 volume points. So it's a little cheaper, but it met that 100 volume point. But either one works. So Brent, when you start, talk to us about getting a pack, getting your auto ship on day one. That it will not bill till the 4th Friday out. We run on a 4-week cycle. So, but you want to have it in there so you can go ahead and get that paycheck next Friday in case you refer something to the system.
Absolutely, Todd. One of the things that we do is, and coach is, when you're enrolling someone, go ahead and set up that auto ship. Go ahead and set up that 100 PV auto ship, because another thing it does is, and I know we'll talk about this later, is it opens up loyalty shopping. It qualifies you for commissions. Yeah, there's other ways to do it, but it's the simplest way to assure. So as you're building your distributor base, to go ahead and put them in on 100 PV and teach your people to do it is just a way to allow everybody to partake in everything we have.
Yeah, and Chris, you've been doing this for quite some time. There is no contract. So if somebody set their auto ship on when they sign up, they can always cancel it. But Chris, the reason that they do that, and you see teams that do this effectively and you see teams that don't do this at all, but if they set that auto ship up, then the first 4 weeks they're in the system, they're going to get double dollars put into their reward account, which we're getting ready to talk about if you want to flip forward. But talk to us about the teams you see doing it well and the teams you see not doing it well.
Well, I think the ones that do it well understand that it gets people paid, and let's face facts. I mean, it gets people, it's just redirected spending. That's what we just had a slide on. So you just got to find some redirect spending for things that they can use that'll give them that 100 or use, as you said, 150 volume points. A lot of things are important. It gets them the rewards dollars, as you said, doubled in the first 30 days, but it also keeps them commission eligible. And I think it's important to understand if you get people paid, let's face it, they just get more excited if they get paid. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we've said this for 19 years, Todd. No matter how great the products are, people are looking for a paycheck. If you can get them paid the next Friday, and those auto ships keep them commission eligible.
Yeah, so there's 3 things that are important to understand about the auto ship. Really 4. First being, it doesn't even have to be you. It could be an outside customer. But the second thing is that auto ship can be changed. You can go right into your back office, click on the auto delivery truck, and you can change it all the way up to 11 o'clock at night Mountain Time on the Friday it's going to bill. And it'll tell you what Friday it's going to bill. It's always the 4th Friday out from when you join. But the third thing is every dollar that you spend on a product goes into reward bank if you have an active auto ship. You don't have to get paid in the pay plan. This is just for our customer base that they use reward dollars. Same thing a lot of companies do now. They reward you for being a loyal customer, whether it's a gas station or grocery store, whatever it may be. But if you turn that auto ship on when you start, they actually put in $2 to $1 the first 28 days. And one of the things you can use that for is you can go into loyalty shopping once your auto ship bills the first time. And you'll see there on the screen, those blue numbers are dollars that you've already spent. So if you go into loyalty shopping, you're going to have your 30% discount already calculated in. And then whatever that blue is, if you've got dollars you've already spent, you apply that there. And then you're able to buy that product down, in some cases, as much as 60% off. You can also use it, you're going to see at the end of this presentation, for discounted travel around the world. I'm talking about you can literally take these already used dollars and save more money on a family vacation to Orlando or to an all-inclusive in Mexico. True story. I do it all the time for people. They'll take the money they spent to buy a pack. So they spent $425 on a pack. It doubles to $900. They turn their auto ship on, and it bills one time. Then the next month, they can turn their travel on. And I can go to Orlando and find a week stay all the time with a $1,000 discount compared to anywhere else they can find in public. And it's those same. So they're basically taking the money they spent on their product, applying it to a vacation. You're going to see exactly how this works at the end. So you don't even have to make a dollar in the pay plan for the money you're spending to already be coming back to you. And my favorite new addition to loyalty shopping, got one with me. This matter of fact, I wish this stuff had never launched because I know I'm not supposed to drink this many. I'm on my second burn already this morning because I was up early working on some other things. But a great product. But Brent, you always talk about redirected spending. So it's not like sticking an auto ship on and just getting a product. They got all of these products in their house already. Talk to us about how your team uses money they're already spending at Target or other places and just applies it into this system.
Yeah, Todd, this has blown my mind. I mean, our team is just blown away with this. First of all, you know, to be able to match dollar for dollar, including tax and shipping, and then use that money to do loyalty shopping, to do travel. You know, you think about this, most wealthy people in the world, how many ways can you make your dollar work for you? And that's the way we really look at this program. It's like, we want to treat our body right with what we put in it. So we're going to pay for that, right? But in return, they're matching it dollar for dollar to allow us to take that dollars and move it in directions like travel, like loyalty shopping, that's going to reward ourselves. It's kind of like double dipping. It's crazy. And I'll tell you this, Todd, since I've been here, I have saved literally thousands of dollars in hotels with Ariix travel. You know, if you take me back 2 years in the industry, we didn't have this. I was just paying for those hotel stays. And to think about today, I've been able to use my Ariix travel dollars or my reward dollars to pay for those. And we're just teaching people how to do that. It's just working smart with the same money you're spending in that redirection effort. So, yeah, just this blows me away.
Yeah, and we're going to come back and talk more about travel at the end because you can actually get completely free travel. But I saw a couple questions. All of this is under lifestyle perks. The second you log into the X office at Ariix.com, on your dashboard are 8 boxes, and one of those boxes will say lifestyle perks. You can also do it via the app at Ariix Connect. Just download the Ariix Connect app off of any app store out there. But Chris, let's start now about making money, which brings us to the fourth reason for the auto ship. You know, I have found through the years is that if a person joins our company to lose weight and they follow our program and they lose weight, everybody does that follows the program. Lots of them lose significant weight. I bet I'm at 500 people now that have lost more than 100 pounds. I can't can't even keep up with pictures. I was looking in my iPad the other day. I got 800 before and after pictures that just are mind boggling. And I can put those out there on Facebook if people want to use some of them. But Chris, if they got an auto ship, then they're eligible for the 8 ways we get paid. And when you start getting a person paid, Chris, that's where life really begins to change for them, even if it's just enough to pay for their products and get them for free.
Yeah, I want people to understand as we go through the compensation plan, each segment is separate. Don't have to think about, I can get this in order to get that. So many compensation plans have loopholes. The first one we're going to discuss here is your team lead bonus. Some people call them a lot of different things, but this is your customer acquisition bonus, if you want to hear people say that. Our team lead bonus is basically for product sales. And if you bring a person on board, you're selling them products. So that's how you're paid. And there's virtually four levels of team lead bonus. And we'll talk about how you get each one of those. Todd mentioned earlier, he would mention why the ultimate packs are important to you. This member pack is if you come in with a transformation pack or just one of the packs with 250 volume points, you'll actually begin as a member level, which means that you've gotten up 250 volume points and you're qualified for the member, which is 15% of your sales. And that's locked for life. You don't have to worry about it going down or requalifying for it. But if you come in as an ultimate, that goes all the way to 30%. There's levels between, and that has to do with how many sales. It's, so if you're making the purchase, for example, when Todd mentioned that ultimate pack, it's 50. That's the way I started. Guys, I knew when I came here, I was here to make money and I was excited about the product line, but I was more interested in the compensation plan. So I came in with an ultimate pack. It was a lot more product, but it was product for my wife and I to use. So there's options there to look at, but it made me locked in at my team lead bonus for 30%. And I don't know about you guys, but if you look at the difference, what's it, you bring in a person with a transformation pack, you make $37.50. And if you bring in a person with an ultimate, if you're at ultimate level, that's $75. And that's a typo. It says $37.80. It's $37.50. So here's the thing, guys. Just understand that that's all it comes down to. It's just doubling your pay. And if you don't want to do an ultimate, if you didn't do it to start out with, don't fret. You can get it upgraded. You talk to someone in your upline. They'll explain what you can do to get yourself to ultimate if you hadn't already done that. Todd, you want to go over anything else about the different levels there? You want me to break down the points?
Yeah, just knowing that you can buy more product yourself, you can sell product to customers, all of those things are creating volume. And what the policy and procedure says, if you can get it to 1,500 personal volume points in your first 28 days, you'll lock in ultimate for life. The greatest thing about it is, unlike most companies, you never got to requalify it. When you get to ultimate, you're locked for life. We have ultimate packages. And if you sign somebody up with an ultimate package of 1,500 volume points and you get paid 30%, that's $450 returned to you on an ultimate sign up of those product purchases. So just know that it's very lucrative to get yourself there to ultimate. You can also sponsor 8 people with a transformation pack of 250 volume points. And if you do that in your first 8 weeks, we have to call it in. But if you'll let somebody in your upline know or call it in, we can get you there doing that too. So anyway, everybody's goal is to get ultimate. If you didn't get it done in your first 28 days and you wake up and say, oh my gosh, I want to be ultimate, the company's fairly lenient about giving you a second 28-day window to get that done. So if you'll call your upline, they can call it in and say, hey, start date is here. You got this amount of time to get this amount of personal volume done, and it'll get you to ultimate. So anyway, Brent, anything you want to say? I know that you had a lot of people that made ultimate as y'all moved into the Ariix family.
Yes, one of the things coming in is, and I think if you've just been in Ariix, one of the things sometimes you might take for granted is you don't fall out of this qualification. Once you hit it, and Todd mentioned it a minute ago, you're there for life. And so our people recognize that because, we could fall out of rank. And so they ran for ultimate. And it's simple, like Chris said, from a standpoint of making income, it's double, so double for the same amount of work, you get double the amount of pay. It's just, it's a no-brainer to go run for it. And what I love about Ariix and the heart of Ariix, Todd and Chris, is the fact that if for some reason you're on here today and you go, oh my goodness, I missed it. No, you didn't. Just contact your upline and we'll, they'll extend another 28 days for you to run for ultimate. It's that simple.
Yeah. And Chris, there was that last slide you just had up there. Inside of your back office, if you go in there and you click on packs and above 180 PV, that'll be on your left side. It'll pull up all the different packs. You can see one of our favorite ultimate packs is the 10, 10, and 10, the 10 mower, the 10 slenderize, and the 10 energy. because you can sell that out of your hand and recoup. It's about you're getting it at about half price, doing it that way. And then, Brent, I know that you guys have got a lot of Ultimates now built that our team loves too, that have the Lemieux Original, the Burn, the Blue Frog 2s, plus some of the Ariix products all incorporated in. And then our Skincerity family, Nucerity family up in Canada, they're incredible products. There's a number of Ultimate packs where you can actually get all the skincare, the roll-on breathable mask, all that stuff comes with it. So number of different ways you can get there. All right, we'll flip forward, Chris. So now we're going to move into the pay plan. And the pay plan is really, really simple. And if you do what Chris just said, and that's keep everything separate. And we're showing you the entirety of the pay plan today. We never do this in the beginning with people. So if you're just starting, it's kind of like you're sitting in calculus and you haven't really got out of pre-algebra yet. So don't let it bog you down. Learning the difference between member and ultimate's a big deal. Learning the basic part of base pay is a big deal, but I want to keep everything grounded with this. If you'll just go out and find 4 people that want a transformation, that are willing to start as a distributor for $24.95, which is actually very inexpensive in this industry, and then a pack of their choice that includes that 2X membership of products, which is generally a 2-month supply of their favorite starting products. Then you get your 4, and you may keep adding more people into time, but once you kind of go through that process, you're going to get team lead bonus on the products. Each person that you start by as much as 30% of their product purchase if you're ultimate. So, and then here's how we start placing them. You go one more slide, Chris. We're going to start and begin in 2 legs. Those little C up there, the purple circles, those are your personal customers. Those are people that say, listen, I don't want any in your business. I just want to be a customer. I want to buy a box of weight loss. I want a box of MOA. I want some of that Faquittin seaweed. I want some Lemieux Original. I need that world's only breathable roll-on mask because I got a scar that I want to kind of start fading away, or I've got a daughter with pimples, and whatever it is, you're going to get customers. And inside of your X office, there's a customer sheet. There's a smart link we can send them. There's a number of different ways to get a customer. But people that say they want to be a distributor, we're initially going to start building what we call 2 distribution legs. So the first person goes on the right-hand side. The second person will go on the left-hand side. Now, there's your team may be teaching you different ways to build that can speed the process up. We're not going to go into kind of how to do this exactly today. Let kind of your organization tell you how they're building, and they'll facilitate you building at warp speed. But just for understanding pay plan purposes, we're going to start 2 different distribution legs and start growing it out. And go one more slide, Chris. And Brent, this is what's so unique. I was sitting with some people earlier this week that were showing me their compensation plan, and you got to hit criteria to get paid. Here, Brent, you get paid team lead bonus on the very first person you sponsor on the products they buy. But then secondly, you get 15% of every dollar spent in the base pay area to unlimited depth in any of the 75 countries your business grows into. When they order something, if it's on the lesser of the legs, you're going to get 15% of all the volume points purchased. And this is a really big deal. And Brent, if you and Chris want to, because I think base pay is a foundational part of understanding. If you and him both, in your words, want to go back and re-explain base pay, y'all do that. And that way we'll kind of get 3 takes on it, and hopefully it'll sink in.
Hey, Brent.
Well, I'll say this, I love the way of building coming out of the gate in 2, because it allows teamwork. And I believe, I'm a coach at heart, but I believe when you build as a team, everybody wins. And to go straight, but just to realize that base pay is, all the volume, all the dollars flow up through you to create the points, and you get to capitalize on all that points. And it's a wow factor to me to realize 15% is so high in our industry, Todd. Like it's, it blows me away. And when I see all of our people's paychecks from base pay has really went up in their weekly commission, it's just, it's a way for everybody to win. And it's a way to build it strong and secure with a lot of teamwork through these two legs.
And let me make this very clear. I think Todd already said this, but guys, we're not going to show this to a new distributor. All these things. The first two parts you've just shown me, the team lead bonus, if they want to understand the comp plan, show them the team lead bonus and show them the base commission and tell them, because I help people ask me, I don't know how to explain the compensation plan to somebody. If you hit someone that you know has been a big network marketer, get someone else to help you. If you're relatively new and you don't understand the compensation plan, it's not, the good news is the company's going to pay you anyway. So as Todd put it, you're going to have two basic legs that get started here, and it's not all you. We'll work together to build these legs. And the fact is that you don't have to understand everything to collect. That's the most important part. You've got your auto ship, or you've got a customer with 100 volume points. As your volume grows, you're going to collect. We want you to understand that. So don't get so thinking you have to understand.
So Chris, in this particular example, if this whole group of people sold 5,000 points of product, that's leg one. Leg two, everybody here sold 4,000 volume points of product. This is your lesser leg, which means that's the leg you're getting paid on. You're getting paid on both, Chris. We're getting ready to show you that you only ever had one leg here, you can become wealthy. But in base pay, it's based on the lesser leg. So you're going to be paid 15% of 4,000 points, or $600 for the week. 4,000 will subtract from 5,000, and you'll start the new week over with 1,000 points in your what's called your power leg, your bigger leg. This one will start at 0, and you'll have a new week of auto ships, of sign-ups. We get all people that are buying packs, all the product bought, personal purchases, and customers are all starting that over again. So let's go forward one time, Chris. One more slide. Okay, now this is where it really gets deep, but this maybe is one of the most exciting things about our company. And this is something I never talk about ever in an initial presentation. So, but this is a recording forever for people to learn the entirety of our pay plan. So don't get bogged down if it's your first time through this, but once you get your two legs growing and both legs have at least 13,334 volume points of sale in a week. It's a weird number, but if you multiply that 13,334 times 15%, that equals $2,000. And if you get paid $2,000 in base pay, the company terminology for that is called an optimization. You optimize a income position, which is your first two legs. When you do that, you earn the right to re-enter your organization anywhere you so choose and start a second income position. This second income position, all the new volume you're going to start building will feed the first. So literally, Chris, Brent, whomever, Aaron Decker, all the people out there, you think, man, I just wish I had one of them in my business. The way you earn one of them re-signing up in your organization is go become one of their better people. And what they'll do one day, you can't do it 1,000 times, but you do get to earn more and more. But at some point, they may be able to stick a re-entry in your organization. So, Chris, let's just use that as an example. That's you up there in the first circle. You started building a group. And then at some point, I know you had a group in Nashville that took off with you a number of years ago, and they optimized. And when they optimized, you rewarded them by putting another income position under their organization. You just called them up and said, hey, who do you want me to put it underneath? And they gave you a person's ID number. And the second but when you stick that power reentry or that second income position down there, you've got, for you to start earning income again, it's feeding the first leg, but you've got to build two legs again. And you're going to, the person who is re-entering, same thing all over again. You're going to get paid 15% of the lesser of the two new legs you're building. But both of those legs are feeding your first pay line up above it. So it's kind of like double dipping. It's rewarding your organization. It's difficult to grasp initially. Don't get bogged down in this. It obviously is a ways down the road. By the time it matters to you, you're going to understand it fully. Brent, Chris, y'all's take on this.
Well, I'll say this, it's just, again, I go back to my original statement. It's a way to allow you to work smarter, not harder, to double dip, if you will, on your money. And so I'm building this, and I find someone that's working hard, and a group is optimized, and there's a strong person in that group that's doing a lot of great things. I have the ability to go enter below them, help that group out, help that person out through teamwork, but also I'm able to go build again, build two lines of business, and if you will, just create another layer of income for myself. Again, I just go back to the mindset of together, everyone achieves more. This is a great example of that, of how we can all win together.
I think it's the most incredible part of our comp plan for someone who's here for long term. That's the way to understand it. If you're here to create long-term real income, because it stabilizes. So Todd is my sponsor. Most people know that. Todd is my personal sponsor here. So how many times could in the other company we worked together, Todd, there's something called breakaways. And then most people know what that means. The company I got big enough in the other company that I reached Todd by title. And then he didn't have any he got a little bit out of me, but it was just so little compensation. The way this works, we get to continue to work together. And I think that's what Todd and I saw about this in the very beginning is you really like someone and you're really working well with them. And as their business grows, Todd is re-entered in my business. And then I re-entered under his, we call it leapfrogging. And we get to rebuild together. And you build those relationships with certain people that you enjoy working with. You don't mind putting an income position below them if they're going to be here long term. So it's just really hard to grasp. You don't need to understand this if you're in the company the first 6 months, the first year you're in the business. This is not something this is a long-term thing that if you're really, and Todd and I think Brent would agree with this, we're here to build an income stream that lasts. And this is a stability. You can build width if you prefer. There's some ways to do that. But I love depth because in the long term, Todd and I, a lot of people told us we were silly for building the depth. I think you may remember that, Todd. Like you make more money up front, we're going wider. And they're true. But this kind of distributes the wealth, and it means you help people more and you can build with people that you care about more. And I love the reentry. I mean, I've got 5 positions that I have in the company. They're not certainly, I wish they were all optimized, and they're not by no means. But the good news is that I can work on different areas and and you can choose who you work with. So that's what I love about the reentry.
And Todd,
go ahead, Brent.
Todd, let me say that, and for the ones that are on here right now going, and Chris said it, that you're going, wow, that's kind of overwhelming. Until you optimize to 13,334, until you it's really, once you do that, then you should put a big smile on your face because you're going to have the opportunity to be rewarded for more income. Okay. But until you do that, there's no worry about this. This is all a positive thing once you optimize.
Yeah, and there's some great strategies we've learned through the years to help you really do that effectively. So as each person does that, we'll talk you through it, say, here's how I would do it. Here's different ways to benefit. Now, here's the great thing. As Chris mentioned, you can do those re-entries as many times as you want. You have to earn it. Every time you optimize another income position, you get another income position. So it's an unlimited amount of times you can do that. You can also build your legs wide, meaning we talked about starting with 2 legs. You can eventually start a 3rd leg, a 4th leg, eventually build 20 legs if you want to. I think we've got a couple of people making about $3 million a year in the company in China and in France, and I think now in Italy, that a lot of them have 7, 8 legs that are optimizing weekly. The reason that you want to optimize an income position and or a pay line more than 2, 3, or 4 is because the company sets aside 3% of worldwide revenue weekly. It's not a set dollar amount. You're getting shares in the revenue. So the numbers I'm going to give you were based upon a $250 million company. As we go to $1 billion sometime the next 24 months, these dollar amounts are going to significantly increase because you're tracking 3% of worldwide revenue on this pool money I'm about to tell you about. So it's called a income position bonus, and it's called a pay line bonus. They're two separate things. It's actually 2% is in the income bonus pool and 1% is in the pay line bonus pool. Don't worry about getting bogged down with that. We're going to do the math of where we currently stand. We know what it pays out based upon the shares. But when you get your first income position, what's an income position? Your first two legs. When those two legs do 13,334 in a week, that optimizes. When you optimize, you get shares in the pool. When you get shares in the pool, that triggers that bonus for the week. So you'll see in green there under the second leg that you're going to get $2,000 in your base pay, 15% of 13,334. That's this right here. But then you're going to trigger the bonus, which will be an extra $500 for the week. I think it was around $420. The last couple of months, it's been up around $550. So it's increased about $130 a week based upon the growth we've had just in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So it's on a steady climb. Okay, you do a power reentry or you build another leg. Either way works. But when you get another one done, what Dr. Fred Cooper, he always laughs about it, is he's going to pay you basically 3 times more money to repeat the process you just did. So if you build a third leg or a second income position, doesn't matter which one you do. But when you do that and that new leg or income position optimizes, you'll get an additional $2,000 in base pay because you're getting 15% of 13,334 again. But the bonus now jumps to $1,600 for the week. So if I had 1, 2, 3 legs that were doing 13,334 weekly, I would get paid $2,000 plus $2,000 plus $500 plus $1,600. All of what I'm showing you on the screen currently is cumulative. If I do a fourth leg, which would be a fourth pay line, or it could be a third income position. Either way works. But if we're going to, just because of the way the screen shows here, I start another leg. And by the way, if you come in with Ultimate, you have 5 legs on day 1. When you log into your back office, it's going to say 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5. If you're Ultimate, you already see that. Now, Brent, you showed me your back office moving over from Lemieux, and y'all got some crazy stuff still integrating in. So the rest of us see 1.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not sure what you Lemieux reps are seeing just yet, but I know they're working on it. But if you get a fourth leg going, you'll get another $2,000, and the bonus jumps to $4,800. Again, 3 times the money. It goes up that much again. So, Chris, you and I have said for years that if you can get 4 optimizing legs or income positions, between that and if you're sponsoring people along the way that are doing well, you're going to be close to $1 million a year in our company at that point. That you're going to be your revenue off all the products being sold around the world. It gets bigger. Matter of fact, go one more screen, Chris. I think I actually put the slide in. Let me see if I did or not. Let me see what's next.
Our match bonuses.
No, yeah, go back one slide. Go back. I'm sorry. I'll clear all that off for us. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't put the slide in, but I will tell you the next bonus for a 5th leg is $9,600, and the 6th leg is $16,000. So, you know, the bonuses become astronomical. Again, don't get bogged down, but for those of you that are sitting there, and I've been in your shoes when nobody knew my name, when my paycheck wasn't enough to pay for my product, when I was trying to work the business, spending more on gas than I was making. All of us go through the same things. This is a business. We're not employed. You can always go. I'm sure they're hiring right now at our company and have a guaranteed Friday paycheck in rep services and other places. But out here, we're business owners, and businesses have ebbs and flows. They have beginning stages. You know, one week you're rich, the next week you're poor. It's business. Anybody that's ever owned their own business, we all go through the same thing. So getting this started takes time. People start, people quit, people start, quit, restart. People tell you they're going to do it. They don't do it. People tell you they're not going to do it. End up one day signing up, being your very best people. Just the secret is being steady into times. But for those of you out there, and you just kind of feel it in your soul that you want to go do something big for your family, your goal is to get 4 legs built one day, maybe 5, or 3 to 4 income positions built one day. Either way, you're going to have a lot of kids in your life fighting over your residual income one day. And this is just all we talked about is base as your team lead bonus. And now your base pay. Remember, we're paid 8 ways. We're on the second way you're paid, which is called base pay. So probably a lot of you didn't know there was this much to base pay. But Chris, Brent, you've been hearing the conversation, the explanation. You guys may be able to put some pointers in or re-explain things in a different way that you think would bring some clarity.
Well, I said, Todd, I said this in Utah, and I'm going to say it again on here. You're here for a reason this morning, or you're listening to this recording. If you're interested in a company that cares about individual wealth for people, that's what you're seeing here. You know, you're seeing an opportunity to be in a marathon, not a sprint, to be in a company that's going to have the opportunity to create a legacy for your kids. And so there's a lot of layers to opportunity for extra income for you as you grow. So to go out and go a third layer and a 4th layer to be able to create that walk-away residual income and legacy for your family is here. And it's one of those, it's very special in this industry to find a company that has that long vision that you can know that this company will be the only one you'll build in this industry. So, Todd, I would just, and Chris, my thing is total gratitude. And it's kind of like congratulations to all of us that we found this company.
Yeah, there's so many things.
And
that we
I will, one thing, I see some different things going on out there is that, the number one question and the debate forever and always will be, do I build with pay lines or do I do income positions in depth? And the answer is it's very personal. And I'm not even going to give my 10 cents on it because I see tremendous merit in both. You'll kind of walk through that. Generally speaking, by the time you get to that point, you'll have a better feel of how things ebb and flow. And it'll be up to you. I mean, there's some people out there in the world making a couple $1 million a year that have gone straight wide. Here in the United States, Steve Schwartz, he's got about a $25,000 weekly check now, and he's gone straight deep with multiple income positions. So, it's kind of your choice. And I think as long as you build, you can't really go wrong. Chris?
One of the things that Aaron just texted me, he's in an airport flying around the country. In the next slide, we're going to talk about that. But Aaron just texted me, just know that those income position bonuses, the width is based off of one amount of volume. And Todd mentioned that it's 2% for the income position bonus and 1% for the width. So building depth on your bonuses may pay a little bit more than building width. So, but again, this is all a personal preference. And if those of you that are new and thinking, I can't ever get to there because I'm just trying to, it takes time. What the biggest misconception for everybody is that Todd or Brent got here in a year. Now, Brent got there quick, but he didn't get here quick in Ariix just because that was how many years in Limu, Brent, before the team you brought over. So it was not like he started yesterday. People say Brent started in Ariix in June. Well, yes, he did. But he was in how many years in Limu before you started with Ariix?
Yeah, it's been almost a decade, and a lot of driving on the road, staying in hotels, and all that. So yeah, it's a marathon, definitely, Chris.
Yeah, and I think that's what most people get the misconception. Here's the other thing I want to point out. So you're saying this really doesn't apply to me, but yes, it does, because someday you may end up with someone that knows someone who is a big network marketer, or has been in network marketing and had things go wrong. You don't know what's happened. And they've been a part of a company that has breakaways, and they've been a part of a company where you lose somebody because of loopholes. If you do that, these things are very important, because then you get someone that can really break this down for them and show them what makes Ariix so special. And guys, the little things that we hadn't even talked about in here, and that is the loopholes. In most companies, tripwires is what as Tim Sales uses the terms, the tripwires to get these. See, in our company, there's not any of those gotchas. And in the Todd, I think, would attest to this. 7.5, almost 8 years ago now that we joined this company, I was confident there were going to be something I had missed. And it was that they weren't trying to take, they were honest and they were doing things the right way, and there wasn't tripwires and there wasn't loopholes. But the next part, Todd, is my favorite. As you already know, I've been texting. That's why I've been looking down a lot. Aaron Decker's in an airport. He's out building big, and this is match pay. Guys, forget everything else. This has nothing to do with team lead bonus, has nothing to do with your base commissions, hasn't got anything to do with income position bonuses. If you end up with a real leader, someone that matter of fact, you don't even have to be the one that sponsored them. Someone else sponsors a real leader. This is the part that keeps me awake at night. How's that? The match pay. In the beginning, you'll see this is the smallest part of your business because we showed you the things you're going to collect first, your base commissions and your team lead bonuses. Those come quickly. Team lead's the first thing you'll collect here. Very first commission you're going to collect in Ariix is a team lead bonus. The second thing you're going to get is base commissions. And then you will start to see match pay. So what is this? I like to call this the family tree, meaning this. They're directly you're related to. So if you sponsor a person or your child, okay, I sponsored my daughter. Kristen is my child. She's on my first level. And she has a child, they're my second level. And it's irregardless to where they're placed in that tree. So it doesn't matter if you place them down 30 levels, the generation and where they are attached to you. I relate that back to my family. Kristen is married and gone, but she's still on my first generation. She's still my child. So she's way down there. She's making her own living. So here's what I want you to realize. This is match pay. So when I sponsor a person, and I'll use Todd as an example. Todd sponsored me. So when I make a paycheck on Friday, whether it's $100 in base commission or $10,000, and that's important because there's not a cap here. So many companies have caps and little loopholes that tell you if a person reaches a certain title, you're not eligible. And it doesn't matter if they're on my power side or my pay leg, the smallest leg, it's regardless of where they're placed. I sponsored wherever Todd placed me. He is tied to me at 15%. So here's the good part. Everybody I sponsor, it's irregardless to where I place them, Todd is still their grandfather, okay? He's their second generation. And then great-grandchildren. So when Todd mentioned gold status, and Brent talked about gold status, I don't know of another company out there in this industry that will lock you gold status for life. You do not have to requalify for 3 levels of match pay. And you're at 15, 10, and 5% on those 3 levels. So I'm gonna turn it back to you, Brent and Todd, let y'all talk about match pay, because I know you guys are, I know that Aaron's been listening. Thank you, Aaron Decker. His business is exploding. He's a top 3 power ranker, and I'm Aaron Decker's sponsor. So let me just give you a perfect example. Can you tell this one keeps me up? I'm taking over on this one, and I don't mean to. I get excited about this. So when Aaron is, I think, is CEO level 2, I think that doesn't matter. He's at that level where we're talking 8,000 base commissions, okay, base pay, because he's built width enough. I'm tied to Aaron at 15%. Now, here's what you got to realize. In order for him to be coming to those top levels, Aaron is personally sponsored. I don't know how many. He's up to that 200 mark. So you would think because of my 15% on Aaron that most of my money would be off Aaron. And in the early stages, it was because he was a big leader. In the last 90 days, my second level pays me more than my first level because of Aaron's growth in his leaders. And the third generation is equal to that second level, and it's only at 5%. It's half the money, but it's equal to in dollars. So it's a lot of dollars on a lot of people, if that makes any sense. That's where most people miss the point. It's that penny a day and double it every day. That generational growth is what really changes your life. And I know that Todd loves this part too, because he's watched that change as well. And Brent, you guys want to add to that?
Yeah, Chris, so let's reiterate that when you personally sponsor somebody, they're going on that first generation. And every Friday forever, it's a 15% match to you on their base pay check. So if they make $1,000, you get $150. But here's what you said that I think, especially if you talk to people from other companies, there's never a breakaway. Doesn't matter if they catch you by title. As a matter of fact, our top money earner in North America for years only sponsored 1 rep on 1 leg. In 99.99% of all the network marketing companies, you only have one leg. You don't get paid anything. Here, one rep on one leg, you've got to qualify for it. Let me qualify you first. To make the first 3 generations, you need to personally sponsor 4 people on an auto ship in your first 8 weeks. If you do that, you will go gold status. If you wake up and say, oh my gosh, I didn't get that done, call your upline. They're, again, fairly lenient up there. A lot of times we can call up there and get you a new 8-week run for gold. The company does it naturally a couple times per year, but everybody wants to be gold status, because once you do that one time, 4 people in 8 weeks. So the one lady, she got her 1 rep. She put 3 others in to get her gold status, but only 1 rep ever did anything. That girl went back to China, and she's one of our $3 million a year earners in Ariix now. So if you do 15% times $3 million, you can start figuring out how important matching check is. But here's the crazy part. She's not the top money earner in China anymore. Somebody she sponsored, which is on this lady's, her name is Ping Shi. She's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. This girl was an exchange student. Her husband teaches at the University of Michigan. But anyway, this girl went back to China, and the person she sponsored now on her second level is the #1 money earner, making more than she is. And I don't know the exact dollar amounts, but they're both north of $2 million in income. They both have 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10. I think the one girl I saw in Las Vegas, she was getting awarded for her 10th leg optimizing. I don't even know what that bonus is. Probably $50,000 bonus for the week on that leg. But on matching check, it's 15%, 10%, and then 5 through 7. To qualify for level 4, it's based upon a $500 base paycheck. Level 6 qualifies, and it does this weekly, based upon a $1,000 paycheck. Level 6 opens up if you have 1 optimized income position, $2,000 a week. Level 7 opens up based upon 2 income positions optimized, $4,000 a week. The illustration you see here is based upon 4s. If you got 4 only, like he said, he signed up Aaron signed up 200 people. So, you know, it makes up for people not signing people up. But if it only grew by 4s in this middle column here, and then every rep only made $100. So if 4 people made $100, $400 times 15% is $60. And then 16 people make $100 times 10% is $160. So the mathematical equation we're showing is tracking it on everybody only getting 4 and everybody only making $100 per week. But if that grew out perfectly, who knows if that would ever happen or not, but if it did, that's just the math we're illustrating for illustration purposes only. We can't guarantee anything, but this is a business. I can guarantee I've signed up family members that I couldn't ever get to show up to anything or do anything that did not earn income. Now, they had tremendous value and transformations with our products and loved them, but just didn't build a business. I've had other people I thought would never do this that are absolutely killing it business-wise. So it's a real business, real ebbs and flows. But what if just 10% of that grew into time? It can become significant. So remember now, the last thing I'll say and turn it over to you, Brent, is base pay, which we talked about on the previous screen, and matching check are 2 separate areas of the pay plan. They get paid in different areas. They're itemized differently on your pay stubs. So it's 2 completely different things. And the last thing I want to mention about matching check, this works on every leg. There is no such thing as a power and pay leg on matching bonus. If you put 1 rep in on 1 leg and it took off, you do have to get the gold status, 3 personally sponsored, or 4 in 8 weeks. If you're not gold status ever, you can be silver status, which means you got to maintain 4 active auto ships on your first level, 4 distributors with an active auto ship. That qualifies you that way too. Anyway, Brent, what's your take on matching check?
Well, you and Chris nailed it. And I think for me, I would just look across the board at everybody on this Zoom today or watching the recording and go, if you're not gold, okay, with where our company is, with the time, with going public, with everything that's happening, like there's never been a better time. I would get off the phone today and I would call my upline and go, find a way out for me to have 8 new weeks so that I can go gold. I want to go gold. And so that would be my rally to you, because this right here, Todd, moving over, really understanding matching pay, matching bonus, I realized that as I am just out living life, as Aaron Decker always says, just out living life, I'm always one person away from an explosion. And I want to end my part with this, on this. When I started in the industry, one of my great friends signed me up, and he enrolled 3 other people, but they did nothing other than just use products. They did nothing. But we went and built a business, and inside of 15 months, Todd, we were doing $500,000 a month in sales. I've done the numbers. We did not have matching pay, so therefore he made no money. He made no money, but he brought us to the table. Had he been in this compensation plan with matching pay, most of the years he would have averaged around $75,000 a year for bringing one person to the table and growing an organization through that. This is a wow factor. And if you're not gold, you just got to get gold. And that would be what I added.
Yeah, I think that
and the nice thing about Check is that we have compression involved. So if you have somebody on your second generation and they turn their auto ship off, then whoever's on your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh all move up one. So now your third becomes your second, your fourth becomes your third, and so forth. They're not kicked out. If they wake up one day and say, oh my gosh, I want to be active, they turn their auto ship back on. It compresses back out. The moral of that story is the company doesn't keep the money. It always just compresses and pays out to us. It's always a 51% payout from the company, 50 to 51. So I would say 49 to 51 when you actually see the numbers, variables on a monthly basis, depending on how things flow. But their goal is to keep it at a 50-50 payout. Sometimes it's as much as 51 though. Anything else there, Chris? And let's move on to savings account.
No, I just want people to understand, and you're getting so in the early stages. And Aaron is watching from the airport. He said, make sure everybody understands. Don't get so caught up in what leg everything goes on in the beginning. It doesn't really matter. Build stability. Aaron's on what we would call my power leg, and that's so. And people think that I'm upset. Am I upset? Absolutely not. That is. Don't be stressed about what's my power or what's my pay leg. I get reps calling me out there. What's my power leg? What's my pay leg? Until something is optimizing every week on one side. Then you'll figure out where it is. Here, it doesn't matter. So just worry about building a team on 2 legs, continue to place people in. It'll work itself out when things begin to grow out.
Yeah, Chris, I'll give you an example there. It's on my second and third income position. I've been building power legs on both of those second and third income position for a couple of years, getting very little extra pay. Even at the detriment, sometimes an owner would say, hey, you need to spread out more. And I was like, no, I'm building in depth. I will get the other sides going. And now then I've hit pay dirt on the pay leg on both second and third income position. But if I hadn't been spending that time building the first legs, then when I hit pay dirt, it wouldn't matter because then that would have been my power leg. So yeah, you've got to build stability in depth. It's everything. I understand the dynamics, but matching check keeps you protected there. So yeah, build depth because you got 15 people on one leg and you're all of a sudden going crazy thinking you need to come on your pay leg, and then that leg takes off and you only got 15 people on that side. Trust me, that's going to become your pay leg in a hurry. So anyway, switching gears. Next area we get paid is called savings bonus. Out on the West Coast, some of our younger groups call it car bonus. Call it whatever you want to. When you start making $250 a week in base pay, the company matches an extra 15% into a savings account. So easy math. Next Friday, your base paycheck is $1,000. You get that direct deposited to you on next Friday. The company takes 15% or $150 and sticks it in your savings account, which you can see and access on your back office screen. You just log in and bam, there it is, and you can keep track of it. That savings bonus can be as much as $500. It caps at $500 extra every week. So it says $2,000 per month, but if there's a 5-week month, it'll actually be $2,500 that month in savings bonus. And so it caps at $500 a week. But the greatest thing about our program is it's not all or nothing. So if you were to explode your business and you're making whatever that is, $3,300, $3,400, $3,500 a week, and 15% of that is 500. You're getting that $500 bonus, and for whatever reason, your paycheck reversed a little bit, and you're only making $2,800. Well, instead of that going to zero like it does in a lot of companies' car programs, you're still going to get, instead of getting 500, you'll still get whatever that is, 430 for the week, 15% of whatever you made. That bonus or savings bonus has to grow to $10,000 the first time. Once it hits 10,000, the owners will call you. They will congratulate you. They will make a huge deal out of it, and they will ask you what you want to do with your $10,000 extra bonus check that week. And you can say, keep it, let it keep growing. It grows in this particular area interest-free. You can say, I want to opt into one of the investment programs. We have several already. I would imagine the stock, the NBEV stock symbol that all of us are invested in. I would imagine that we'll be able to start putting that in that area over the next 4 or 5 months. That's not done yet. You can always take it out and do it yourself. But I would imagine there'll be a back office feature that would allow that fairly soon. You can already opt into other investments and get this money growing and let that weekly extra keep going into your investment. Or you can take the whole $10,000 out and you can say, hey, I want an extra check every month. So what they do is they pay you every Friday, but one Friday a month, they pay you twice. You get your savings bonus. So if you're maxing it out at $2,000, they will just send you an extra $2,000 paycheck every month from that point forward. Chris, it's a fantastic thing. I think I saw in Jeff's office, there's been like $20 million paid out already to the Ariix rep base in saving bonus checks. It's a fabulous system.
Yeah, I love the savings bonus. Obviously, car programs have been around in our industry for a long time, and the company I was previously with had that. But you've already hit on it that, it's not an all or nothing program. So I know Lee Mood folks were car programs, not against cars. Our company's real conservative people, so they allow you to do what you want with your savings bonus. That instead of it being put into your car, you may not want a car. You may not. I'm kind of at a point in my life where cars are not near as important to me as they used to be. I hate to admit that because I'm such a car person. So you can decide what you want to do with your money that you've earned. So if it's a car, you go buy you a Lamborghini with $2,000 a month, or you put that $2,000 to pay off your house, or put that $2,000, whatever you choose. Even though it's not probably as glittery, I mean that honestly, we don't have that glitter from the cars driving up. I think Todd will tell you with the company we were with, we had a Lexus and BMW program. It was cool having everybody driving up in their platinum colored silver cars, but in reality was we owned those cars and we had to hit a quota to get that comp. I just love this because I was looking at my savings bonus this month, what it's going to be next week, and I'm like, man, I could buy a pretty nice car. So I'm thinking more on the boat, big boat. So it's all about what you want. But the savings bonus is so responsible in the way it's designed. And everybody's in it from day one. That's the thing. Yeah, you're already in. All you got to make is $250 in 1 week, and their savings begins on that day. Brent, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I would just challenge everybody that has received income from the company to go into your back office and look at the savings. It's just another wealth creation the owners have created. And I think in this day and time we live in, with all that's went on in our world and the rugs that have been ripped out of people that thought their jobs were secure, I think this is just a great example of what this company is doing to create security for individuals that are going after their company, that's going to work their company to create something long-term. And so I've been a part of both, a car program and a savings account. And obviously I can take my savings account and go buy a car if I want to, but this is definitely a smarter approach to creating wealth for my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're going to kind of end up with just saying that once you've been in the company longer than 3 years, you're a top money earner, you're helping Crossline, you're good for the company, all of those things, you can become what's called a founder in the company. And you basically get an equal vote as an owner when they're talking about expanding markets, adding product lines. You get a veto vote. If we have a Bill of Rights, you can't ever be kicked out of the company. You can go do another network marketing company. I don't think that's very smart. I think we're the best. I don't think you do two things at one time. But the great news is if you think differently, our company's going to continue to pay you anyway. I've seen it happen through the years. And matter of fact, I've seen a number of examples of people go other places and make more money here not working than their other company. They go somewhere else on the next best thing, and it's out of business 2 years later. And the wonderful thing is and come back here and go back to work. But I think it's really great having that Bill of Rights, because this is your business. It's my business. Don't want somebody taking it away from me. If you're in the Founders Club, you get to help protect your organization. So if there's ever a true conflict of real violation of legal stuff, you can still veto any decision that was made by the company based upon those kind of things. So Founders Club, it's going to be a little bit different now that we're a publicly traded company. We're still waiting to understand it totally, but it will definitely be shares of stock, a true stake ownership in the company, how that works. And, you know, if you look at this, the only reason I've got this slide up right now, this is most important. If you look at other companies' payout in that first column, you know, we pay out the most. But the last column is the most important. Everything I just told you is protected in writing. They can't change it. Matter of fact, if there was ever a reason they added something to the pay plan, you still have the right to remain on the policy and procedure you signed up on. That's in your policy and procedure manual. If you look over there in the right column where those red X's is, all of those other companies in writing in their policy and procedure manual say they have the right to change anything at any time they want. The distributor has no say in it. So the number one thing I'm going to tell you about everything I just showed you is it's protected in writing for you, and it's here for the long term. Our company's owner's goal are to create a $10 billion worldwide international company selling all sorts of products to the end consumer direct to the front door, and we got the ability to be on the front end of it. But guys, we're going to keep on moving. Go ahead and flip forward. Now we're going to get into the perks. So I just told you about the Bill of Rights. You also have the ability here. Remember I told you you can invest? We signed a partnership with a company called Assurance Financial. This is crazy, but you have the ability to get an unsecured loan through Ariix, basically on a phone call and a digital DocuSign. It's based upon your paycheck. You can't do it if you don't have a paycheck. But if you do have a paycheck, or you have a fairly good amount growing in your savings account, you can actually leverage your paychecks against a loan. And I don't know the exact percentage. I'm going to say about 20% of your weekly pay. So if I was making $1,000 a week in Ariix, I could borrow whatever dollar amount I wanted to that would equal about a $200 a week paycheck. You pay it back by the week. They withhold the money out of your check on a micro loan, generally for 3 years or less. So if I wanted to borrow $10,000, I'd pay it back $200 a week for 3 years. And I don't know that math exactly. I'm just throwing out some numbers, but it's literally a phone call. Jordan is the person's name. You'll just call up there, ask to speak with Jordan. Jordan will set it up for you. Again, you must have a paycheck to do this. You can't do it the day you join. You can be on, and it's about an 8% interest rate. It's a little higher. There's a reason for that. You can be on the other side of the loan, and I think it's 5 or 6% guaranteed on the other side of the loan, and actually make money. That's one of the investment programs you can opt into, and I think there's a 2% spread that covers everything in there. But anyway, they've had this now for like 5 years. I only know of one loan that went defunct. The person left the company, and they had borrowed like $8,000. And the last time I asked Jordan, the guy who runs Assurance, he said that particular business center had paid Assurance now about $25,000 he walked away from. That's how sure they are of the residual income here. They just know that if you have X amount of dollars coming in base pay every Friday, that those loans are secure. And so the investments are going to be widespread into time. They're going to allow us to invest in office buildings around the world. They're going to create, Jeff Yates has been the CFO of several different billion-dollar companies, an extremely conservative guy, just really doesn't really make recommendations. It just gives us opportunities would be a better way to put it. So anyway, Chris, just all fantastic stuff there.
Yeah, we could spend so much time. There's obviously, we know we have the medical program. I now get my health insurance through the company, which was a savings. So if you put it all together, what they have done is really put together a true company that has so many avenues. If you'll take advantage of them, you can change your life forever, be a part of a special thing. But if you're brand new, you don't need to understand all this toward the end. Just think about the very basic fundamental parts. Team lead bonus, base commissions get started, match pay. Those are things that you're starting to earn. and just know the perks are here for you. There's so many advantages to us. We've actually gone a little further than we meant to on time. Brent, you have any last words you want to mention?
No, yeah. Chris, I knew this was going to take 90 minutes, and
Okay.
we're going to go into travel and this is something that if you're tired of listening, drink a cup of coffee, because this is the last piece of the puzzle. But Chris, this is the most important thing. Brent and you, and I mean, I was in South Alabama the other night, and David Daughtry in his meeting, I think he's got 100 people showing up. He's booking free travel, and he takes snapshots on his phone. He's like, look, I just booked the Omni Hotel in Dallas, Texas. He showed this on his PowerPoint. This is what it cost me, and it was zero. He's 4 nights in a $180 room for nothing. So it is the free travel here is ridiculous. So we've already talked about every dollar you spend on a product goes into a reward bank, and that's going to buy your discount. But Chris, here's the great thing. You can earn real dollars in your travel program, and you can travel completely for free. 2 ways to track it. First way is you can download the Ariix. It's called the AOR app, Ariix Opportunity Rewards, AOR. It's an app. You can also go into your X office, and at the very top, it'll say AOR. You can click on that. But here is how it works. There are different ways you earn real dollars. See that AOR top? Go click on that.
Brent, are you having trouble hearing Todd?
I am.
Okay, I don't know if it was Miss O'Man. He's talking about the AOR credits. So these AOR credits are earned from your volume, of course, in your sales. I mean, if you start to look at what you have, this is actually, I think, Todd's X office. It's like his rep ID number. He's the CEO. So you'll earn these from your income as well as he talked about already, everything that you go through your business, everything that you purchase in your auto shop, everything you purchased up front that you got double credit on, that is your discounts. The AOR credits come into actual cash e-wallet dollars that you can spend on anything. This is what he was talking about when he mentioned David Daughtry and how David had it. I thought it was funny he mentioned him because he's booking the big event down in Dallas. I also booked that same event yesterday, and I booked a suite. So I booked an 1,800 square foot hotel room at the Omni that was very expensive per night, about $400, but I didn't pay anything out of pocket. Obviously that was 3 nights, about $1,200, but I had earned. So how do you earn these actual e-wallet dollars? And Anthony to be watching for Todd. I think he's going to come back in with us. He's probably logged out. So here's what it comes down to. From January 1st to June 30th is the first period. Then July 1st to the end of the year is the second period. For every $750 in base commissions that you earn above the previous 6 months. So if you're brand new, that number is 0. So from July 1st to the end of the year, this is just on base pay. You'll get an extra. So if you make $750, they dump a $250 bonus in e-wallet cash. That's what I like to call it, e-wallets, AOR credits, whatever you want to call it. But it's actual cash that you can spend at that for that discounted amount. So I'm gonna go back a slide and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about if I can make this thing work. So when you look at this particular page, this just shows some resorts. So our public price, let's just look at that second one there. I've been there. So the Fiesta Americana, I won a trip there one time with a network marketing company. So here's the thing. It's the public price, so it's $36.83. Your discount is $16.47 that you use out of your credits, dollars that you have spent, the rewards dollars. But then your cash dollars, the e-wallet dollars, if you've earned that, this is what Brent was talking about when he alluded to he hadn't spent any money on the road. That $2,037 for that week for 2 can be paid out of your e-wallet. I wish I had my actual ones. When we went to Key West this spring, we all got quarantined. Judy and I were trying to figure out where we could go in the United States. So we went to Key West. I know Brent was just in Key West. I paid for my trip. We stayed at a 5-star resort. We bought our airline tickets to the X office, and I paid for everything from my e-wallet. I didn't pay anything out of pocket. The only thing my trip cost me, so I was on the phone with a network marketer yesterday, and she's trying to help her people get eligible for a trip. And I'm laughing. I'm thinking I'm eligible for trips anytime I want to take a trip. My company has a trip. They're trying to earn a trip every so many years, and then they work a year to win a trip. And they're trying to get everything in on July the 31st. So this one person they could win a trip to Cancun. And I'm like, I can go to Cancun 5 times with my company and never even ask when they're going. Brent, why don't you elaborate? I know that I see you grinning because you love to travel.
Yeah, I do. And it's just, again, it's just ways that you can make your money work for you in multiple ways. I mean, this realistically, the AOR, I just look back and I go, this is money that I normally would be spending that I'm not having to spend. And not everybody travels like I do, but just if every quarter I think about how much better you're going to feel, more energized you're going to be is every 90 days if you just picked a place and went to it, and just have the excitement of knowing it's completely paid for. It's an unbelievable program.
Well, it's just another one of those perks. And this travel, guys, I mean, I know Richard Tuggle talked about this too. He said, I've been to Salt Lake City now 5 or 6 times. He said, but really it's not that expensive when the company's paying for it. So that's the thing to understand. I say the company's paying for it. You earn it. I want to make that clear. You've been good to the company. You've earned an income, so the company's benefited. So they just give you back some perks. And that's what I call these. These are perks. I didn't join this company for perks. Joined it to make an income stream. But it's sure nice that I got my health insurance that saves me $12,000 a year through the company. Sure nice that I can travel, because my biggest expense for the last 19 years has always been my travel expenses. I built a big business. Now I don't have that expense any longer, because not only do I get great discounts, but I'm using my e-credits as my business grows to pay for that. So that's how they'll look in your back office. Once you pull up your AR credits, that's just a picture of how they work. Those are levels and percentages and how the credits come into play. But remember, it's January 1st to June 30th and July 1st to December 31, whatever the weeks come out. So week 27 through week 52 is what we would call it, because we work on weeks in this company. Okay. And I guess Todd texted us, Brent. I think he's trying to get back on with us, of course. You're going to win these AR credits for all kinds of things. By the way, I've just talked about base commissions, but you're going to get them by just watching the training, attending an event. Make sure you've watched the BOS. You can see Todd ain't watched the BOS very good, so he felt like he knew how to do it. But you see all the other things. He's fully circled his corporate. So this is a real good slide about another story. How did Todd Rowland become one of the top income earners, not only in this company, but in this industry? You see how many events he attends? He hasn't missed anything. And I will tell you, plugging into things is what makes your business grow. And I heard someone say this once about that, and I want to kind of hit that, is that, they're always there because they're doing so good. Maybe they're doing so good because they're always there, because it makes a difference when you plug yourself into things. And the last slide we're going to talk about is what I've learned a long time ago. And I say this as the last slide. Todd told me we're on the last slide before. So, he's got an agenda on everything when he's doing these things. Coaches, they got the game plan on everything they want to cover. I've realized that. So the last thing we're going to talk about, or not the last thing maybe, but one thing is we're going to mention is our residual income. Guys, if you're working, it doesn't matter what you're working at. It doesn't matter. I mean, I had, as Todd mentioned, I own a manufacturing company with 485 employees. Let me assure you, the day that NAFTA hit, I didn't collect any more money. Here's the cool part. If you build a true business with a good company that has the foundation, I think we now know we're publicly traded. If you don't think that doesn't change the mindset of people, that you're a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange and that we're a solid company. So if you build a residual-based income, guys, my financial advisor told me he'd never seen anybody have an income built like this that was residual nature. Nobody. He said, I don't have a single client, and he's a big guy. He's like, I don't have anybody that has this kind of income built, and I got people make more money than you. I don't have anybody that's in residual in nature. So if I don't decide to work, it keeps going. He was hard pressed to figure out how to put a figure on how much that value was, because the fact is, guys, is that residual is what it's all about. If you work for linear income, it doesn't matter. My nephew is a high dollar attorney. He charges $475 an hour. But you know what? If he ain't working that hour, he ain't getting paid. And he actually said to me, Uncle Chris, you got it figured out, because not only do you make good money per hour, it's going 24/7. It never stops. And so this is what you got to understand. Work at something that pays you long term. Hard work is not the key. It's the key to get into the right tool. Brent, you want to add something to that? I know that you really love residual. You worked for linear income for many years. So
many years, and I've watched a lot of people do it. The fact that most jobs, my brother's a doctor. Dr. Crystal Vance on the Wellness Council, she owned her own practice. most things you do when you stop working, you stop earning. And the fact of the matter is here, but Chris, you know this because you've been with the company and you've seen a different side. You've only been with two, but the fact of the matter is you got to be with the right company. And that's what you got to understand. You know, there's a lot of great companies in the network marketing industry. Absolutely. But you are with a company that is not a one niche, that is creating a disruptive approach and has a vision of a legacy. So the fact of the matter is we build it, it sticks, and we got it for our life, and to be able to will it and trust it to people we love. So it's just, if you see the smile on my face, it's like, holy crap, I really realize that we are with the most amazing company in the industry.
Yeah, I think there's something that we want to reiterate. Brent and I have only had an experience with one other company, and that's nothing slamming against the other company we were with. I made a lot of money with the first company I was with, met a lot of great people. But the way that my company was set, not Brent's, the one I was set up was, it just wasn't designed around long-term residual. It wasn't, and it's not that they were bad people. They really built it what they believed was a great company. But they weren't worldwide. They weren't set up to do what this company's done. So that's the thing that you've got to understand. If you really are a business person, that's where you got to think out, you know, not be so tunnel visioned and realize, what are they doing here? And the big picture. And what I really believe, Brent, is that over the next, what we've seen so far, we haven't seen anything yet. I'm convinced with what, after being out there on this last trip, the next 24 months is going to be a time when we're going to say, can you believe where we were just in 2020? Or can you believe where we were in 2019? And you're going to see that over the next 2 to 3 years. I just see the vision of them. Guys, I want to bring the app. The company has an app you can put on your phone. It works on Android as well as iPhone. And it's called the Ariix Connect app. It will connect you to virtually everything that you need. Videos are in there. It'll hook up your X office. It'll keep up with your weekly pay. There's multiple apps the company offers. I suggest you connect, get into all of them. I do know the Ariix Share app right now has got some kinks in it. They're still not got it all worked out. I was told we're about 10 days out from the Connect app being complete. Is that what you're hearing, Brent? About 10 more days to 2 weeks?
It is about 10 days. The Share app should be complete. We'll let everybody know that. But Chris, I've got the Ariix Connect app. I'm using it, and it's just one of those things that you just play around with it. The bottom left-hand corner of the app it opens up videos and the boss videos and the comp plan. I mean, it's a lot of useful things in that Connect app.
Yeah, and it tracks things for you if you send videos out. So learn what it's for. Take advantage of the tools. There's just a lot of things that you can use there. The transformation, if you've got a transformation, it'd be a great thing for you to put your picture in there. They actually give their award prizes for those that are viewed. But long story short of it, guys, it comes down to you building a business yourself. There's so many things. Also, if you're not on the MOA Challenge page, the Ariix Nation page, hook in and tie into as many. I believe it's Ariix Nation is what we call yours, Brent, right? Ariix Nation is what y'all's teams are. But when we talk about a team, that's something that Brent started and had when he came here. Ours was MOA Challenge. We're all one family. We're all one group. Brent's on this. I'm on his. I mean, it's not about. It's just somebody's taking the initiative to set something up to make sure it's fed information. So it's not about his or mine, or it's about ours. It's about Ariix and what we're trying to accomplish together. And Todd's got it up here, so I didn't realize he already had you pulled in here, had you on the app. So the Ariix Nation has, look at that. It's got 12,000 private members right at it. So guys, it's a culture we're building here. And the rewards, if you'll really buy in, I honestly think if you'll just do your due diligence, if you're someone that's looking at this and you study what we're coming from and to realize that where we sit, I honestly believe with my whole heart that in the next 10 years, you're going to see a company that will become so big that the name Ariix will be noted. It'll be a household name in 10 years. And I mean that sincerely. And there'll be people that will quit before that they become a part of it. That's the sad part. I have people that I care about and I love that I want to see do better with this. But the fact is they'll not, but that's the way life works. You just got to decide if you're the person that's going to make that journey. You got to decide if I'm going to be that person. So last we'll say is that there's our corporate owners, and obviously Winham has now retired his IT department. So he's retired himself from this company, but guys, that staff is still here, even though we are publicly traded now. Fred, Mark are still taking their roles. Fred is now will become the chief. What do they call that? Chief
Chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board. That's right. That's a little bit bigger level. He told us you got a promotion. And Jeff is still going to be the chief financial officer. All that staff, Deanna's still over products. Don't be concerned. That whole culture that they were decided on, all we've done with this merger is make us bigger and stronger with more avenues. Brent, I'm going to turn it to you. I don't think Todd's going to make it back on with us. He just sent us a text. He's having internet trouble. So,
yeah, I would just say as we end, and I think this has been awesome, you know, and I know it's went a little bit longer, but it's just validation that you're in the right company at the right time with what the world's looking for. And it's kind of, Chris, a lot of people talk about paradigm shifts, and sometimes they throw that word around even when their company is truly not making a paradigm shift. Well, I'm here to tell you, all you have to do is plug into Ariix. All you have to do is plug into now a public traded company, seeing what they're opening up, all the disruptive things they're doing, and realize that we really have our hands on a company that is making a paradigm shift in our industry. And that's why over the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see us grow into a multiple billion-dollar company. And people like you and me are going to change our lives forever financially if we get in and row the boat and just take full advantage of this. So I'm super glad you're here this morning, taking it in. And I got to say this, Chris wouldn't want me to, but man, Chris and Todd and Aaron and Ken and just the leaders, the way that they embraced us through the merger, what it really makes me realize is for these other companies that we will be merging with, and the way they embrace Nucerity, and they really get working together is going to create a bigger opportunity. And when you got leaders like that, there's nothing stopping this. So, man, thanks so much, Chris, for your time here and all you do.
Well, thank you, Brent. I appreciate that. We are a culture. We believe that we're all in this together, and that we're in such an early stage. We need each other. I think as a football coach, you kind of relate it to, I might not love I may be an offensive guy, but I sure do love my defense because I need the ball back. Okay. One thing I want to point out, Brent, on this slide. So this slide was made at the beginning of the year because we were going to 250 million this year, to 300 million. So we were over 5 million a week in sales. And now that slide is actually out of date in 4 months. We're at 10 million a week. Think about that a minute, where we're at. Our company's going to go through these guys are being conservative at 550. I think we'll hit 600 million this year. And I totally agree that next year. So when is this date? Guys, today is August the 1st, 2020. And each time we do these slides become so obsolete so quickly because of our growth. So guys, thanks for being on here today. We appreciate it. Todd had some internet trouble, but as we all know, technology doesn't stop this crew. We just keep going. I hope we covered the things that Todd wanted us to. Anthony, thank you so much, and Susan for helping us co-host and making sure that everything's taken care of. You don't realize how much you appreciate the people behind the scenes that are doing things. Both Susan and Anthony are all back there. I think Andrea Rosser is helping us too, just to make sure people are getting in and out, and it makes such a difference to have a good group. Anthony, if you'll stop the recording, I don't even know how